Hello everyone, my name is Eric Consiglio with Loesel-Schaaf Insurance, and I'd like to welcome you to the Diocese of Erie open enrollment video for 2025. Before I dive in, just want to provide a friendly reminder. Our agency works with the diocese to help manage their health insurance plan, so if you do have any questions, concerns, or problems as it relates to the health insurance, as always, please feel free to reach out to us. We are here to help. Okay, let's talk about 2025 and what you need to know. So what's new? Well, the first thing we want to draw your attention to is the fact that the diocese has made the decision to leave Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield and move to Meritain as of January 1st. Meritain is an Aetna-owned insurance company, so that's why you're seeing that little Meritain/Aetna in the first bullet. The copays and deductibles are going to remain the same, so there's no changes to those benefits. We actually are going to be adding some new benefits to the plan. You'll no longer have the option of a big network, small network selection. Currently under Highmark, you have the option of electing their big network, which is called PPO Blue, or their smaller network, which is called Community Blue. Upon the move to Meritain, it's just going to be one network. It's their big, large national network. That's going to be the option you have to select from. Pharmacy is going to remain with Lavinity, formerly Southern Scripts, so nothing new to talk about there. Everybody should have received the member guide. Everything we're going to talk about today can be found in the member guide. All right, so what do you need to know about this move to Meritain, and what do these new benefits look like? Well, let's first talk about the players involved. Okay, on the left-hand side of the screen, these are the organizations that make up the health insurance plan. So Meritain, again, an Aetna-owned company, is the third-party administrator of the health plan. That's just insurance speak to say they're the ones that are the engine behind the plan to make sure that it runs the way it's supposed to run. And they're the ones that are responsible for processing the claims and paying the doctors and hospitals. Because Meritain is owned by Aetna, your insurance network is going to be the Aetna network, which we'll talk about on the next slide. Lavinity, formerly Southern Scripts, is remaining the same on the pharmacy side, so you guys are familiar with that. Nothing new to talk about there. On the right-hand side of the screen, now we're talking about the new programs that are coming into place as of January 1st. We have Regenix and On Point Integrative Medicine. These are two doctor practices that specialize in stem cell and platelet-rich plasma treatments, which will now be covered under your health plan. And then we're also adding the Cleveland Clinic Centers of Excellence program. All right, before we talk about the new benefits, let's talk about that Meritain network through Aetna. Now, the Aetna network that you're going to have is called the Choice Point of Service 2 network. It's their largest network. It includes all the hospitals in Pennsylvania, so UPMC, AHN, all the independents. It includes the doctors that work for those hospitals. It's a very large national network. It includes the Cleveland Clinic, University Health Systems, S.A. Anderson, the Mayo Clinic, so on and so forth. And while it is a very large national network, and while you're going to see that it's very similar to Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield's network, we do always recommend that you just check with your provider before receiving care to make sure they are participating. ID cards. Here's your current setup, right? Right now you have two ID cards that you're carrying. You have the medical ID card for Highmark, and then you have the pharmacy ID card for Lavinity, formerly Southern Scripts. As of January 1st, it's now going to be back to one ID card. So you're going to get a set of ID cards in the mail before January 1st. It's going to encompass the medical benefits and the pharmacy. What's a little bit different is that the ID cards are just going to have the employee's name and then all the dependents that are insured listed right below. So like under Highmark, you get one for you, one for your spouse, one for your kids, and it has their name on it, whereas with these ID cards, it's going to list all your dependents underneath your name. All right, the health plan is going to look, as I mentioned, the same as it relates to copays and deductibles. So you have your participating provider column, in your non-participating provider column. Participating means you went to doctors and hospitals in the Aetna network, and when you do so, you're going to pay copays at the doctor's office of $25 at the family or $40 at the specialist. A new added benefit is mental health counseling and therapy is now going to be covered at a copay, whereas currently under the Highmark plan, it's going towards your deductible. So a benefit enhancement there, because now you'll just pay the copay. Urgent care is $40, ER is $100, and then $100 copay, and then all the other services linked to hospital, surgical, diagnostic testing, so inpatient surgery, outpatient surgery, inpatient stay, labs, MRIs, CAT scans, all of those services count towards the deductible, which is $750. Once the deductible has been satisfied, then coverage kicks in at 100%. We are adding those new benefits I referred to, Regenix and On-Point Integrative Medicine, and also the Cleveland Clinic Centers of Excellence program. And one thing you'll notice is these two new benefits that we're adding are covered at 100% in full. So no deductible, no copays, 100% coverage. If you do happen to go to a non-participating provider, somebody that wasn't in the Aetna network, your benefits fall to this column. And again, the deductible, the benefits are structured the same way they are today. And just a refresher with your pharmacy, again, no changes there. It's staying with Lavinity. You just pay the applicable copays shown on the screen, which are the copays that as of today and will be the copays going into 2025. All right, let's talk about the new benefits, because really the change to Meritain, it's just a matter of carrying a new ID card. The benefit design is going to be the same, and as I mentioned, the network is almost tomato, so there really shouldn't be any adjustments there. All right, we're going to add Regenix and On-Point Integrative Medicine. What is this all about? Well, these are doctors that specialize in stem cell treatments and platelet-rich plasma treatments called PRP. And these treatments are alternatives to orthopedic surgeries. 99% of health insurance plans out there do not cover them. But the good news is your health plan as of January 1st will. Not only is it covered, it's covered at 100%, no deductible, no copay. So what does this really mean? What is this benefit all about? Well, everything on your body moves, right? And everything on your body that moves is connected by a tendon, a ligament. There's usually, a joint linked to it, right? And inevitably, you get problems with those due to aging or due to weekend warrior activities, right? And oftentimes when you get that injury, you're heading down the road of maybe needing orthopedic surgery or a lot of physical therapy or taking pain medications to mask the pain. And what doctors that specialize in stem cell and PRP treatments do is they are using your own body's properties, right? Your own stem cells, your own platelets to help regenerate the problem area. So I'll use myself as an example because I went through this. I'm a weekend warrior, and several years ago, I tore my left meniscus. And as you can see, that's on one of the bullet points where PRP or stem cell may help. I tore my left meniscus, went to the doctor, he sent me to the orthopedic, and I had my knee scoped. And as you guys know, when you get your knee scoped upon a meniscus tear, they're cutting out your cartilage. So short-term fix, long-term problem because you have less cartilage in your knee. And then you also had surgery, so you got to recover from the surgery, which does take a while. Fast forward, a few years later, I tore my right meniscus. Went to the doctor. He said, Eric, you know the drill. I'll send you to the orthopedic. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go a different route. I had been doing some research, and I had found that doctors that specialize in stem cell and PRP were having success with meniscus tears. So I found a local doctor, went to him. He treated me with PRP. So he injected my platelets into that tear. And knock wood, it worked wonders for me. I didn't have to have surgery. I healed up quicker and faster. It was a better experience all the way around compared to having my knee operated on. The only problem was my insurance plan didn't cover it, and it cost me about $3,500 out of my own pocket. What I'm trying to stress to you guys here is you're now going to have this benefit covered under your health insurance plan at the diocese. And not only is it going to be covered, it's covered at 100%. So if you've been one that has been struggling with any of these bullet points shown on this screen, I highly encourage you to call one of the doctors at Regenix or On Point Integrative Medicine, schedule a consult, go see him, and see if you qualify. See if you're a good candidate for stem cell or PRP treatment as an alternative to orthopedic surgery. I'm not saying it'll 100% work for you, and I'm not saying you won't need that orthopedic surgery, but if you can avoid it, why not give it a go? And again, it's covered in full with inside of the Diocese Health Plan as of January 1st. Now, to set up that appointment, you just need to call the doctor's office. And again, all this information is in your member guide. Regenix is a doctor practice located in the Pittsburgh area. All you need to do is call the number listed on the Regenix flyer, tell them you're an employee of the Diocese of Erie and you'd like to schedule accordingly with a Regenix doctor, and that advocate will help you do so. Or you can call On Point Integrative Medicine. That is a doctor practice, Dr. Coppola and Dr. Karen here in Erie. You can just call their office direct. Again, their information is on their flyer in the member guide. And let them know you're an employee of the Diocese of Erie, and they'll schedule you accordingly. Okay? So if you guys have any more questions about this, I'm kind of going through it at a high level, but it's a really great benefit. Again, I'm speaking from my own experience because I paid for it out of my own pocket on my own, but I had great success with PRP treatments. All right, let's talk about the Cleveland Clinic Centers of Excellence program. This is a new benefit added to the health insurance plan. Now, the first thing I want to acknowledge is you have access to the Cleveland Clinic for anything, right? You want to go up there to see an orthopedic, a dermatologist, a cardiologist, an ophthalmologist. You want a family doctor up at the Cleveland Clinic, you can do that. They're inside the Aetna network, okay? This Centers of Excellence program is a separate program that sits on top of the Meritain Health Insurance Plan. So this is like an added layer of benefits that you have. And the best way to describe the Cleveland Clinic Centers of Excellence program is it is about getting a second opinion from the Cleveland Clinic, one of the best hospitals in the country, without having to go up to the Cleveland Clinic. Now, it doesn't apply for all conditions. It applies to certain non-emergency orthopedic, spine, and cardiac procedures. Now, here's this listing of a few of them, right? So, cardiac, maybe you need a valve replacement or an aortic aneurysm. Maybe you need your back surgery and you need fusion or a lumpectomy. Or maybe you need that hip, knee, or shoulder replacement. Okay, now there's more to the orthopedic, spine, and cardiac that qualifies for this Cleveland Clinic Centers of Excellence program than listed here. This is just a sampling of what qualifies for this program. And then it also covers cancer. 3 cancers: breast cancer, prostate cancer, and colon cancer. Okay, here's how the program works. The reason why I call it a second opinion is you're not walking around knowing you need coronary artery bypass without a cardiologist already telling you that, right? Or you're not walking around knowing you need a hip replacement without a doctor already telling you that. And obviously you're not walking around knowing you have cancer without a doctor telling you that. But these are big medical conditions, right? And what we want to do is give you an alternative form of care, if you will, that you don't have today. Meaning, if you were diagnosed with any of those conditions that we just discussed, you can call the healthcare advocate. Now, again, all this information is in your member guide. When you call the healthcare advocate, you'll be like, hey, I just went to the doctor and I found out I had prostate cancer. Or I just went to the doctor and he said I need spinal fusion surgery. I would like to see what the Cleveland Clinic thinks about this. And what the healthcare advocate will do is they'll get you to sign a HIPAA certificate, which allows them to get your medical records. they'll get your medical records from the local treating doctor, transferred up to the Cleveland Clinic. The Cleveland Clinic specialists will review your medical records, and then they're going to come back with their thoughts on what your condition is and how they would treat it. And then upon hearing what their thoughts are, if you want, you can then decide to get your care done at the Cleveland Clinic. Now, inside this Cleveland Clinic Centers of Excellence program, if you end up going to the clinic for your care, everything is covered at 100%, no deductibles, no copays. In addition to that, your healthcare advocate, upon scheduling you with the specialist, will send you an itinerary acknowledging, when your appointments are, where you're going to be going, who you're going to be seeing. And you'll also, in that itinerary, receive a gift card to help cover the expenses of your gas to and from the Cleveland Clinic. It'll have an allotment of money on there for a food voucher. And then if you're going up there for surgery, assuming a loved one wants to accompany you, they'll actually cover the cost of lodging up on the Cleveland Clinic campus. So let's hypothetically say you went to your cardiologist. Your cardiologist said you need a valve replacement. You're like, woof, that's a big surgery. I want to make sure I need that. So I want to get a second opinion, and I want to get it from the Cleveland Clinic. So I'm going to call that healthcare advocate. That healthcare advocate is going to get my medical records transferred up there. Cleveland Clinic reviews it. They come back to me saying, yep, we think you do need that valve replacement. Okay, well, good to know you need it, right? They're agreeing with that. Now you got to decide, well, do you want to have it done by the local guy, or do you want to go to the Cleveland Clinic? If you want to go to the Cleveland Clinic, you talk with your healthcare advocate about that. You'll get the itinerary, which will have that gift card to cover your gas, your food. In addition to that, you're probably going to have a loved one go up to the Cleveland Clinic with you, right? Because you're going to be in the hospital for a day or two for a valve replacement, most likely. So they're going to put them up at a hotel right on the Cleveland Clinic campus, and that gift card will cover all of that. So you don't have to pay for anything. It's covered in full. No travel expense, no deductibles, no copays. It's a great way of getting a second opinion for something big, right? Breast cancer, prostate cancer, colon cancer, or orthopedic, spine, and cardiac, without having to go to the Cleveland Clinic. And if you do decide to go there, you got everything covered at 100%. So it's a really great program. Again, this lays on top of the Cleveland Clinic's access that you have with Aetna. You can go to the Cleveland Clinic for anything. This is just a separate program that lays on top that applies to certain orthopedic, spine, cardiac procedures, as well as the 3 cancers we discussed. Now, because I can't give you a full list because it'd be multiple screens. If you need something cardiac, spine, ortho related, just call the healthcare advocate. They'll tell you if you qualify under the Cleveland Clinic Centers of Excellence program. Okay, hopefully that makes sense and I didn't beat up on it too much. Moving on, we're almost through, guys. Stay with me. Open enrollment right around the corner. It's going to be from October 28th to November 15th. This is the opportunity that you have to enroll in the health insurance if you already weren't enrolled. Make coverage changes to dependents, maybe add dependents, take dependents off, or cancel your insurance altogether. If you want to be insured in 2025, the same way you're insured in 2024, you don't need to do anything. But if you do want to make a change to the way you're insured, you do need to reach out to your local human resource representative and complete the necessary paperwork. Okay, wrapping up with this slide, takeaways. What are we trying to make sure you take away from this video? Well, the first thing is, remember, changing in Meritain as of January 1st. Meritain's an Aetna-owned insurance company, so you're using the Aetna network. You have one ID card. You're going to be getting a supply of those in the mail prior to January 1st. One ID card for the medical and the pharmacy. As of January 1st, you got to use this ID card, because if you use your old Southern Scripts / Lavinity pharmacy card, it won't work. If you use your old Highmark card, it won't work. You got to use this new insurance card as of January 1st. We're adding on Point Integrative Medicine and Regenix that specialize in stem cell and PRP. covered in full, no out-of-pocket expense. We're adding the Cleveland Clinic Centers of Excellence program, again, covered in full, no out-of-pocket expense. And remember, this is an added program. You already have access to the Cleveland Clinic for anything you wish to go up there for. Make sure, as I already hammered, make sure you use that new ID card come January 1st. If you do have any procedures already scheduled in 2025, make sure you let your doctor's office know about the insurance change and show them your new ID card, because they may have to get prior authorization redone under Meritain versus under Highmark. And as always, confirm with your medical providers that they do participate in the Aetna network before going to see them, just so you don't run into any surprises. There are no pre-existing conditions to worry about. I failed to mention that earlier in the video. So if you're in the middle, God forbid, of cancer care, there's nothing to worry about upon the change over to Meritain. There's no pre-X that says, oh, well, we're not going to cover this or that because it was pre-existing. That is not applicable. So please rest assured you don't have to worry about that. All right, guys, with that, I will wrap up. If you do have any questions, concerns, please feel free to reach out to either myself or Kathy Fisher. I would go to her first just because I'm out of the office more than I'm in, and Kathy's in the office more than she's out. But feel free to reach out to both of us. We are here to help, and we'll talk soon. Thanks a lot, guys.